welcome to no, I'm sorry, I'll get the wrong one. Welcome to Not Your Father's Show. How you doing? Hang on, let me get rid of that. There we go. Things are good. Hey, welcome to Not Your Father's Show. How you doing? I am Lenny Schmidt.
And I'm Robert Robbins.
That's right, and we're here. We're live on Monday. Hey, it's been a few weeks since we did a live show.
It has been a while.
Yes, so today is it's good to be here. 6 p.m. every Monday we are here. Robert and I get together and talk about raising children, raising kids in this generation, talking about all things being a parent and raising kids. I have 2 teenage daughters. I'm a stand-up comic. I travel the world. I come home to 2 daughters here in the Valley in L.A.
And I'm a marriage and family therapist. I work with parenting as a specialist, also with relationships. So everything you can do to have your teen turn out better than you expected.
Perfect. Have them turn out perfect.
I'm checking out the live so I can make sure.
You see the comments. Angela's here and Tammy.
Merry Christmas.
Hey,
Merry Christmas.
Robin's here. First of all, Robin also has COVID. I didn't mention this yet. I have COVID. I've had it for almost a week, and my friend Robin has it as well, and she had a really bad cough. How are you doing, Robin? I hope you're doing okay. I hope you're better. Hope you're healthy. Thank you, Tammy. I feel very good. Yeah. So I didn't really I was going to bring it up later or whatever. I was tested positive on the 21st. I was on a cruise ship. I came home, and I've been quarantined since then. So Lily's not here. She's at her boyfriend's house, so she's devastated. She had to stay at her boyfriend's house for a week. She's like, oh, that sucks. But Anna is here, and I'm pretty sure Anna's got COVID. So we'll know. And we're both getting tested tomorrow. So I have to get tested.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you're feeling better. You know, when you told us, I was like, oh, that's funny. And then you're like, no, I'm serious. I was like,
yeah,
what?
no, I really have it. Yeah, I really have COVID. No, it was weird. I didn't think I was gonna get it, but I'm feeling I feel way better. I got up today. I felt like crap yesterday. It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's dude. It's really weird because it's not like early versions of COVID that I've heard about. You know what I mean? This is one thing I have. I'm really tired. I'm like exhausted. So that's about it. But I got up today, felt way better. I don't have a bad cough. I have my taste. I have no fever. You know, I'm just tired,
great.
a little tired and a little sluggish. So I think I'm at the back end of it. I woke up today feeling pretty good. So
good.
We'll see. I'll get tested tomorrow for the first time. I was supposed to fly out Thursday to get on a ship, but I can't. That's within the 10-day quarantine, so I can't even fly. So I had to cancel the first week of the next gig. So I'll have to talk to my agent tomorrow, find out what's going on and all that stuff. But man, it's going on. This is what we wanted to talk about, kind of. Also, fatigue plays right into everything we're going to talk about today.
Absolutely.
First of all, this holiday was all messed up because almost everybody I know had COVID. I mean, every time I turned around, I had another friend that got COVID. It was insane this time around. And they're all people who this Omnicrom version really hits you whether or not you were vaccinated. But booster, I got the booster. You know, I was all I'm vaccinated and boosted. Is that what they call it? Is that the scientific name for it? Boosted
up. Yeah, I think that's the science behind it. Boosted.
Thanks. Right on, man. I was boosted. But yeah, man, everybody. I know a lot of people, man. They got their shots and they all got the COVID. Everybody got the COVID. Tons of friends.
Yeah.
So
for sure. Yeah, and like they say, there's only like 3 more variants until New Year's or something like that. And
great. Yeah, that's that'll be cool. 2 more days.
Well, I mean, you're right. A lot of people I know have COVID as well, and they're like, "Hey, I didn't even know I had it," and they were going to work, and it's because we still have to get tested every single week for either school or Josie's soccer or something like that.
Yeah.
Or my wife as well. So we're all good, you know, luckily, but a lot of other people found out like, oh, I had it and I didn't even know it.
Well, I noticed it. That's how I found out on the ship. I didn't know it. I didn't feel bad till I got home, you know, and on the ship, you're tested every couple of days. And we're tested a lot on the cruise ship. So, I mean, they don't mess around. So it was the day before I was leaving and they said you tested positive. I was like, that can't be right.
I got my shots. I'm boosted.
I feel fine. I'm great. I just got back from the gym. You know, I'm like, it's weird.
It happens. But playing into that, there's an interesting clip I had sent Lenny a little while ago. I don't think we had time to load it up, but it's one of those, you ever ask a man if he's all right, you know, it's on TikTok everywhere. You just have to Google it. And in this sense, you know, a friend of mine was talking about this on KTLA the other morning, Stacey Kaiser, and it's called resilience fatigue. similar to holiday fatigue. And so many people have had like a tough couple of years, from the 2 weeks to flatten the curve all the way till right now, where it's like, well, where are we at now? Nothing's had a reset. Nothing's gone back to the normal that we're used to, no matter what media has come in and said, okay, do this and then that. And it's I hate to say it, but it seems like they keep moving that goalpost. So
It
when is
seems
the
like
light
we're
at the end
moving
of the tunnel?
sideways. Seems like we're
Yeah.
moving sideways. Yeah, but I think also maybe part of it too is like we were talking about this with the cruise ships. There's a big news article today about the cruise ships. Somebody was talking about it, and as usual, the media is dumping all over the cruise ships, talking about how they're part of the problem. And you're like, which I've always thought they got a bad rap, not just because I work in the ship, but well, maybe just because I work in the ship. I don't know, but I think they, they get a bad rap. But I think everybody's got to realize and understand that from moving forward, we're going to be living with COVID, and this is not. We're not going to be in a situation where we can eliminate COVID and get rid of it. So I think when it showed up that people thought, oh, we'll do the 2 weeks, we'll do the lockdown, we'll flatten the curve, then we'll get rid of COVID and we'll move on. And they really didn't. They didn't realize that we're not going to get rid of COVID.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like the flu.
Right,
There's a change variation in the flu every single year. It mutates. So we just, I got the flu. All right. So you spend a week in bed, a little bit of chicken soup and
Right.
saltines and such, and you make the best of it. Some people it hits harder than others, which is unfortunate. But it's one of those things where, I believe it. You told me, coming from cruise ships, if I remember correctly, there's really great cruise ships that take all the preventative action for cleanliness, on board and with patrons.
They're all great. I'm going to be
COVID.
honest. That was really.
Yeah.
I'm impressed with all of the work they've done since we've come back, and it gets better every time I get on a ship. I mean, man, that's a big machine that they got to deal with. That's a lot of people getting on and off all these different ships, and they're finding different protocols and they're juggling things. But everybody's getting tested, and I can't believe it's amazing how the ships have pulled it off. It's very impressive that they've done it. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's very impressive.
Yeah.
So I think they've done an excellent job.
Absolutely. And there's, because they're taking all this preventative action, it's still going to, you've been vaxxed and boosted and you still got it on a cruise ship.
Right. 100%. That's what something people should realize, that when people that are vaxxed and boosted that are getting this, and they're getting it everywhere. It's not just on cruise ships. I mean, look at the NFL. The NHL shut down for 4 days this last week just to try to catch up.
I couldn't believe it. Yeah.
The NFL's postponing games left and right because whatever this variation is, who doesn't have this variation is way more contagious. But like with most diseases, I'm not a scientist, but I did read this somewhere. With most diseases, it's been around now.
But you're an actor.
I'm an actor.
Because you're an actor, you do your own research, and then you have a platform to stand on.
Sure, yeah. And then I played a scientist once, I think, in a sketch.
You did.
Yeah. Anyway, it's the longer it's around, it changes, it adapts, and it becomes more contagious. But it's also less lethal. You know what I mean? It becomes less. Now that's when it turns into a flu. Like the Spanish flu turned into the flu. That's what the flu is. That's where that came from.
Yeah.
This Spanish flu that was the original Spanish flu, is the flu, or the flu is the original Spanish flu that changed over time, and now it doesn't kill people left and right. But I think that's where we're headed with COVID now. I think COVID is this one. Maybe every year people are going to have to get a shot and or a booster, or choose. It'll be like a flu shot. Do you want your COVID shot? Yes, no, whatever. Move on. Blah, blah, blah. Because people are getting it now, and there's a lot of cases, but there's far, far, far less people that are getting really horribly sick from it.
Yeah, that's for sure. A lot of, like you said, you didn't even know you had it until you were like, I test what? I have it?
Yeah, right.
So a lot of the people that I know have been double vaxxed, boosted, everything, and they got it too.
Right.
And they were really surprised.
Well,
some people I know that haven't been vaxxed at all, they also caught it and they said, oh, I guess I have it now.
But I think
they had no idea.
I think that's part of the exhaustion. One of the things we were talking about before we started the show was to focus on the exhaustion that a lot of parents and adults are going through right now, because this is all dragged out longer than we thought it would, and or like I said, it feels like we're moving sideways. You know what I mean? It's like we didn't get to a point where we can go, oh, good, COVID's gone. That's behind us now. You know what I mean? I think people are exhausted from constantly. It's on the news every day. I mean, COVID is literally on. It's been on the news every day for 2 years now. That's got to be, and that alone is exhausting.
Yeah. And also with social media at the bottom, if there's any mention of it, it's like, click here to find your local place that you can get vaccinated. And it's like, enough, 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 enough. You know,
Right.
whether you choose to or not, that's not where I'm going. It's a constant reminder that, okay, it's there.
Right.
Let's just try and get on with our lives and take care of our kids and put some presents under the tree. You know,
Right.
it's just the simple things, which brought us originally to resilience fatigue, where people are stressed out, people are tired, and the holidays on top of it. It's a joyous, giving, wonderful time of year,
Right.
but it can also be very draining, very stressful, very
Extremely,
taxing.
yeah, a lot of and depressing. It's a lot of pressure on people
Hmm.
too. Some people go the other way with the holidays. There's things like getting your kids gifts and, let's say, relationships that aren't going the way you want them to go. You know,
Hmm.
the holidays is just it's a delicate time of year.
It really is. And that's also with, like, you're looking at the big three of Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, right
Halloween.
into like Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
And everyone is looking at, where am I at in my life? Where was I last year? Where was I 2 years ago? Where was I in 2019? You know, and a lot of us are not as in the place where we thought we would be.
Right. Right.
And in order to
100%.
battle that, is able to become aware and appreciate some of the things that you have going on. You know, I was telling Lenny before we started, when it came to Christmas, um, I was wrapping gifts until like 6 in the morning. It was, you know, because the reason being, we had to stash everything and kind of hide it, and, you know, in different boxes. And
Right.
once, if, you know, I don't know if I kept bringing up Lucky, but if there was wrapping a ribbon, he would find it. Like, he's a bloodhound when it comes to that. So we couldn't really wrap anything. We wanted to keep it a secret. And I was just wiped out. Happy for Christmas and seeing my daughter's face. I kind of felt like, you know, the guy in the dad in Christmas Story, where he was just, you know, Walking Dead kind of thing. And
Yeah.
a lot of us do it. And it's such a joyous feeling to see, you know, and it's not so much of the gift of, I mean, I saw a lot of videos of people getting like PS5s and all sorts of extravagant gifts. My daughter was happy with a pair of Vans socks that had like skulls and roses on it, you know, just something simple. And it's really cool to see some of those things where that excitement is there, you know.
Right.
And then the other thing is that there's a fallout after the holidays. It's similar to what was called the Ironman blues after, like with triathlons and the Ironman, a lot of people put their whole life on hold for a year in training, bills, relationships. And then afterwards, after all that adrenaline, you know, the zenith of everything they worked for is over. They have to get back to real life. And after the holidays, people are like, oh, if I can only make it till Christmas, which is a trap. And they
Right.
make it to Christmas,
Right.
and then it's like,
Then you're screwed.
okay, there's still tomorrow.
Yeah,
Okay, I got to come up with
you're
the
like, this is the
mortgage
day
in
after
like a
Christmas?
week.
Crap. I didn't plan this
They're
well.
like, they're like, no, come on, Boxing Day, let's keep going. You know,
Come on, come on. New Year's Day, it's important too. Come
yo.
on.
And this is the 1 week people are like, you know, I don't care. I just have to make it to New Year's, and then after New Year's, it's, I can't wait to get to the gym or hit the ground running, or what am I going to do next? It's taking accountability of like where you've come, enjoy this time. You know, a lot of people are still working. My wife just got home a little, you know, few minutes ago, and it's long days and it gets dark. You know, we
Yeah,
just
yeah,
had the
right. That's
the
part of it.
shortest
Sucks it out
daylight,
of it.
you
Yeah,
know,
right. I
last
noticed
week.
that. Yeah. I got up today at
Yeah.
4 o'clock. It was already almost dark. I was like, what? I told you I was
Yeah.
sleeping before every day. I go, me and
Yeah.
Anna both were like, oh, I can't believe we slept all day. Now it's dark again. You're like, oh, all right.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where you, like, if you binge watch Netflix all day and then it's nighttime, you get up and you're like, what? It's
Right.
night?
That's it. I call it the Vegas thing. It's the opposite of the Vegas thing.
That's right.
Where you walk out in
Yeah.
Vegas in the sun, you're like, ugh, the sun. You know, if you're in a casino all night long.
It hurts.
Well, getting back to
Yeah.
exactly to where you're talking about the negativity, or the sometimes people look at the holidays and it's very negative. I wanted to bring this up since we were talking about being a parent. One of the things my mom was always really good at this. My mom, I don't know how my mom did it, man. She always gave us a really good Christmas. You know, I mean, my mom struggled financially, but we always had a lot of gifts. We had aunts that helped out. We got Toys for Tots. You know, we got all kinds of stuff. And I never knew my mom struggled. I never knew what my mom was going through during that time. Like, even like Tammy just made a comment about thinking positive. Like, I'm a big believer in thinking positive, being positive, and bringing positivity into into your aura. You know what I mean? If you think positive, your universe is filled with positivity. If you think
Right.
negative, it's a law of attraction. It's that's what you do. So, but I think it's really important as a parent to show that positivity or try not to show the negativity to your kids, so your kids don't feel that pressure, especially around Christmas time. My mom was queen at it. I don't know how she pulled it off, but I never knew the struggles my mom was going through until I became an adult later, and I could look back at it and go, man, I have no idea how my mom was able to get through Christmas with 5 boys. I don't. But I never knew by the look on her face.
And to seem like they're even keeled, right?
Yeah. And she's like, for the most part, she was, she never seemed, we had our moments. Of course, my mom, she's Irish. She has some times where she threw shit at me. It happens, and she got mad. But I never knew the pressure she was under during Christmas time, which is something I think is important for a parent to do for a kid, to not lay those pressures. It's hard as a parent to not show that pressure around your kids, because kids are smart. They pick up on that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they'll pick up on the negative thing.
Which reminds me, I wanted to bring up a story I read. There's a family that got together, and they went to their mom's house, and I may be paraphrasing parts of it wrong, and when they got together, they said, "Oh, Mom, we're going to surprise you. We're going to do what they called, I think it was called like pirate dinner," and that means that everyone, all the kids, scatter into the house and they find something and they bring it back to the table on what to eat. So they go like,
I like
loot,
it already. It makes me hungry.
So they all run in different directions and they find something to eat and bring it back to the table. And then the mom would take what they could find and make a dinner out of it. So all the adults came back, and I'm not sure if it was for a holiday or some type of occasion. And they said, "Hey, Mom, you know what we should have? We should have pirate dinner, and like, yeah, let's do that." And the mom started crying. And they're like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" And she said, "I invented that game because we didn't have anything to eat. And I wanted to make it fun for each of you to find something, whether it was top ramen or Velveeta cheese or, something basic. And they try and make a meal out of it because they didn't have anything else. She couldn't afford to go and get groceries."
Right.
The kids had no idea that it was because of the struggles.
Right.
And so when they were excited about doing this pirate dinner, it just brought her to tears. And she finally told them, "It's because we didn't have anything."
Right. Yeah, that's amazing, dude. That's but you created a game that the kids had no idea. That's even better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The kids are running around doing this stuff, and I can only imagine that feeling as a parent to not be able to feed your kids, or be in a situation where you're struggling to feed your kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've been blessed to not be in that situation. And my mom went through it. I know my mom struggled to feed 5 boys. I mean, I know she did. And some of the it's funny. Some of the stuff that I eat now, some of the stuff I love the most, it's similar. It's shit she made because she didn't have any money. I go, "We should have that white bean stew," and she's like, "I made that's all I had was beans." So I made a big deal out of this bean stew I made. It had 1 chunk of bacon in it, and you kids thought it was the greatest thing ever. I'm like, "Yeah, it was awesome, Mom." And it cost me like 80 cents to make a pot of that shit. I'm like, "Well, we love it, man, but we love all that stuff." It's funny, growing up, we loved all that crap she made. That was just the cheapest version of food that she had to feed us. It was great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, meatloaf. That's pretty prime right there. The whole basis off the movie Ratatouille is off that as well.
Right.
At the end, where the food critic, eats something really basic. And as a matter of fact, later on tonight, I was planning on making ratatouille for Josie and Nicolette.
Yeah.
And it's the simple things. It's fun to make together, And one of the great things about cooking at home with the stove on in the wintertime is it also helps heat the house. So.
Right.
And some French bread. We're going to have some good French bread.
Oh, that sounds good.
Hi, Carrie. Doing well. Hi, Vincent. Robin. Hi, Lori.
Did we get a lot of people here today. Carrie's here? Where's Carrie? Carrie's probably shopping. There she is. Hi, Carrie. All right, man. Carrie's here. The Mulligans are here.
Hey,
hi,
Ben,
Lori.
Vincent.
Lori, I have a funny story. I have a funny story to tell Lori. I don't know if I ever told this story before. Lori works at a retirement center. She just posted on here that she had a party for her residents.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When I was 20, I was in my 20s, a road comic. I was getting ready to go on the road. I used to work at retirement homes. I was a cook. I was the head cook at a number of different retirement homes in Illinois. And one of them, I think it was called Snow Valley. It was on Route 53 in Lisle. And I was Santa. I played Santa for him. So I came home.
Oh, nice.
I made food and stuff. And I went out and I came out in the afternoon. Santa gave away candy, gave away stuff. And I knew all the residents. It was a very small center. So I knew all the residents. There wasn't more than 30 or 40 people in the center. It was very small. So I knew a lot of the people. And then, so I go out and ho, 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 and I give away candy. I give away gifts to everybody. Everybody's really happy. I leave, I come back, I'm serving dinner that night, and this lady comes up to me. I can't remember her name. She was so sweet. She goes, you were a really good Santa this afternoon. And I go, Santa was here? I go, get out of here. She goes, and she's like, oh, stop it. I go, no, wasn't here. I didn't know. No one told me Santa was here. I know all the ladies are like laughing at me. I go, what's so funny? And they're like, we know it was you. I go, it wasn't me. I wasn't here. It was the best. It was very cool. I had a good time being Santa.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that reminds me of a story. My mom, she sent me this picture. Let me see if I can find it really, really, really quick. Is it here? That's not it. Let's see. I went to her school. I was 18, and I got off. I just finished my finals or something like that, and I ended up getting there, and it was the last week of school. And here it is. Their Santa didn't show up, so she's like, "Will you wear the Santa outfit?" And when I was a senior in high school, I was like $1.45 sopping wet. I was lean.
Really?
And
really? $1.45? Dude, that's your leg now.
Yeah, I know. And I was at the same height I am now. Well, I was about an inch shorter. I'm 6 feet now. I was about 5'10", 5'11".
Dude.
So she asked me to put on the Santa suit.
Do you have Acme everywhere?
What's that?
I'm drawing a picture.
Oh my God. Totally did. So she sent this to me. She's like, do you remember this? Here, let's see if I can.
Oh, dude, is that you? That's your mom?
That's my mom and I. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's the best. Dude. That's very cool.
I was 17. I was just about to turn 18. And I showed up at the school, and she's like, please put it on. And I was like, play Santa? I'm like, cool. And they got the, from the nurses station, they got the pillows that every kid lays on. I'm like, whatever. And I stuffed them in, and you can see it's a pillow, and the rest of me, the suit's just draping off me. But it was a lot of fun when you walk in and you see the students, the kids. It's an elementary school. You see them just light up like, and it was just such a great feeling. And I've always loved that feeling of giving, and you don't need the recognition. You just knowing that you're giving to someone,
right,
that can appreciate it.
Yeah.
Whether it's a smile, some joy, just a simple gift, anything, just giving is where it's at. That is the best present for me for Christmas. I don't know about you. You're like, no. I like the...
No, I love it.
I like the libations, huh?
I don't. I put I still joke with the girls that there's a Santa. You know what I mean? Because I do the same thing with the girls, where they go, I remember when we realized there was no Santa. I go, no, my thing is, no, there is a Santa. And we present this big lie that there's not a Santa, so that you don't think there is a Santa. And when you become adult, we just play along. You know what I mean? It's like a game I play with the kids. It drives them nuts. But anyway, all I know is but I like to make sure the gifts are out there Christmas morning. You know what I mean? So like Christmas Eve, Ann and I were up watching TV pretty late, and I come in here, and I was up till 6 a.m. wrapping gifts to make sure they were out there Christmas morning day, just so I could see Anna's face. You know what I mean? I know she's 20 and she gets it. You know what I mean? But there's something about the gifts being there. And there's something about just the gifts being there for them to see that. I like that. That's very cool, man. I love that. I think that's very cool.
The magic of Christmas, I believe, is the spirit of Christmas is real. Right.
I agree.
Where we want to be the better person that we always hoped we could be, and sharing and giving without any expectation for anything else. And I do believe in Santa, and I was actually explaining it to my daughter this year, where we tell kids about a man in a suit because it's easier for them to comprehend. It's easier for them to say, oh, it's this one person. And the history of St. Nicholas and Santa Claus goes back hundreds of years.
Right.
And not only does it do that, the story spans in different countries for a
Well,
long period of
there's
time.
different versions of Santa and different
Hmm.
stories of everything from Saint Nick to, I mean, all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
There's old Croatian story. Old Croatian had different traditions, and there's always a version of Santa somewhere, but it changes a little bit everywhere you go. But Christmas still has the same overall feel to it.
Yeah, and I was telling my daughter that this feeling, this recognition of Santa Claus and giving the spirit of Christmas, it's almost universal at that time, and it's spread throughout the land and different lands. And where we take it is there is a Santa, and it comes and it inspires everyone. And I said, now that she's older, she has to keep that spirit alive, because one day she's going to do something, and that's through the gesture that Santa and the magic of Christmas would make something happen. You know, whether it's you give a gift card to one friend or donate that one blanket you have that you don't need anymore, or that toy you don't need anymore to someone else, or letting other friends know about a toy drive and participating, or whatever it might be, just to give. And it's important to give back,
Yeah,
you know.
100%. Agreed,
And
my
Santa's
friend.
real.
Santa's real.
Santa's real.
Santa's 100% real.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I got your video loaded.
Cool.
I can play it. So let's talk about this real quick. You want to set up? We were talking about exhaustion and what did you call it? Resilience?
It's resilience fatigue.
Okay. Hold on. Let me lose that. Okay. Resilience fatigue. But anyway, this is a little video that Robert sent to me. Let's watch it first, and then we'll talk about it. So here we go.
You ever ask a man how he's doing and he
crap.
says,
Hold on.
I'm all right. I'm here to tell you, that man is not all right. That man is battling demons that you cannot even possibly imagine. That man is struggling every single day to find a reason to keep going. And the reason we say we're all right is because as a man, nobody really fucking cares what you're going through. So why even bother to say it? But you know what? I feel you, brother. Because I'm all right too.
All right, that's good. I like that. Now, that hits on the head what we were talking about earlier about the exhaustion that so many parents are feeling right now. All parents.
It is. You know, everyone's going through something. We're all trying to keep that smile up. Sometimes some warms our heart, like seeing our child open a gift that they wanted, or just the magic of just seeing the gifts, you know, and being there together. And I'm so fortunate that I'm not overseas. I'm here with my family.
Right.
We're all together. We're all in relatively good health. You had COVID, but you're, on the other side of it.
Yeah.
All these things we have to
Plus,
be thankful
I'm home.
for.
I mean, it was hard. I'll tell you what, the hardest phone call of my life was calling Anna and telling her I had COVID, because she's such a traditionalist, and she has a whole list of things we do during Christmas break.
Yeah.
And we had dinners planned and all kinds of stuff. And she went out and bought new tablecloths, and she was telling me on the phone about all the stuff she bought. And I would go, I got to tell you something. And I told her I had COVID, and she was a mess for like 2 days. She cried because she thought Christmas was ruined. She thought it was hard for me to teach her or try to show her that we could kind of have fun with it. Like, the first couple of days we were in separate rooms, we were texting. You know what I mean? I'm wearing a mask everywhere. I got plastic hanging up. I mean, I'm trying to, have fun with it. And it took her a while to understand that we did have fun. We ended up having fun during Christmas. It was just me and her, sitting on separate sides of the room. I'm all wrapped up, and then, we're watching movies, and she made dinner. She took care of me. I mean, it took her a while. It's hard, man. It's hard when especially on Christmas, expectations are difficult because you have expectations for things. And when things go south and they go wrong, it's really hard to focus on the positive. It's the hardest thing in the world, but it's the only way to get through times like these is to focus on the positive.
It is. And I know a lot of people are struggling out there. I do, and it's easy to say, just look at the good things around you. Well, I'm going to leave you with this. If you're going through a hard time, number one, reach out. There are people, there are friends. And if you need a number, why don't you message us at notyourfathershow@gmail.com, and I'll send you a number that you can contact if you need some real help. But in addition to that, when you're down and you're not feeling too amazing, the best thing you can do for yourself is to give to someone else. If you put yourself out there and you give, you'll find that it starts filling up that hole that you have. I guarantee it.
That's true.
And I don't mean necessarily money or things. If you give some time, if you give some kindness, if you help someone out, if you listen to someone that they're struggling too, you'll feel a lot better.
Just being empathetic to another person that needs anything. Sometimes they just need a conversation, a word. Sometimes just a hug. Sometimes just a card. Sometimes just some advice. You know what I mean? But you're absolutely right. If you give to others, it makes you feel better about everything. And that's a great way to put it. That's awesome.
It does. It really does.
All right, well, let's go wrap it up. First of all, I didn't mention earlier, do me a favor, guys, if you can, like the video, subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and also you can support the show financially. Everybody knows how you can do that. Go to payifyoucan.com or join the Patreon page. I sent a Patreon message out earlier today updating you about shows and stuff. We have a happy hour coming up this Thursday. Happy New Year to everyone.
Happy New Year.
This is our last live show for a couple of weeks. We will have a show next week on Monday. Robert, have a safe trip. I know you're going with your family up north, man, to see the rest of your family. Have a safe trip and happy New Year.
Thanks, buddy. And I'll talk to you before then.
Yeah, I will. I'll talk to you for sure. Everyone else, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being here to the show. Thank you so much. Take care of yourselves. And I haven't said this in a while. Do me a favor. Dream of Pinky.
Dream of